Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well today. As you can see, I've got a bit of a new setup going on here. Finally got my mic together. I literally had this given to me at Christmas and I've only just set it up. So glad I have. The sound audio is sick and I'm definitely going to start podcasting like a lot of my discussions that I have on my YouTube. And yeah, pop them on Spotify because I feel as though, might as well do that while I'm at it, put a microphone on and, get some Spotify content out of it as well so people can listen on Spotify. I want to dive straight into what I'm going to be talking about today, which is the law of attraction and how you can make it work to your advantage. Understanding through and through what that law actually kind of means for your life has been really helpful for me in my spiritual journey, has been really helpful for me in my success journey especially. That's what I want to talk about today, kind of go through what that actually means and how you can use it to create the reality that you want to see before you, sense with your five senses, and essentially create the dream life that you want. So if you're interested in learning how to make the law of attraction work for you, then you need to keep on watching. So first of all, what is the law of attraction? I think there's so much discussion online about what this really means. And I think a lot of people do get a little bit disheartened with it because they think that it's this idea that, you just need to think your way into creating the life that you want. Whereas there's a lot more that goes into it than simply just that. That is an element, that's a huge element by the way, but obviously that has to be married with action. And that's what I'm quite interested to focus on today, the practical side of making the law of attraction work for you. So the law of attraction is this idea that the universe essentially reflects back to you what you are. So whatever your thoughts are, whatever your actions are, whatever you put out into the universe is what the universe is going to send you back with. It's what you're going to attract back into your life. So, if you're somebody who is a little bit sour, got a bit of a chip on their shoulder, is maybe a little bit disgruntled, unfortunately, all you're going to see reflected back to you in the world that you witness and that you see or sense with your five senses is going to reflect those qualities in you. And it's going to further validate what you already think about the world. If you're already disgruntled, if you're already feeling down on yourself, you're going to inadvertently be looking for things and attract things into your life that support those thoughts, that support those views that you have on the world. However, on the opposing side, if you're somebody that's happy-go-lucky, lives in the present, thinks that good things happen to them, you're going to be looking out for those good things that happen to you. If you're grateful, you're going to, attract people who are grateful for you, or you're going to attract things that are on that same vibration as gratitude. And kind of going off on a slight tangent, but I think it is relevant, there is a chart of vibration, which I'm going to put here so that it's a little bit more helpful. Pause it if you need it to just have a look at, just so you know what I'm talking about. But, you start off at the bottom with things like fear, guilt, shame, all sorts of things. And then you right up here are things like gratitude, love, joy, that kind of thing. Say if, for example, you're at fear and you're fearful that your partner is going to leave you for somebody else. I'm not saying you're directly going to attract exactly that, but you're going to attract things that are on the same vibration as fear. So that might not directly be your boyfriend or whatever, or girlfriend leaves you for somebody else, but it might mean that you're suffering in some way. It might mean that you experience negativity from them because they're very aware of that fear, and it creates something negative within them, so then they take it out on you. It's just like a vicious cycle. If you come to things with fear, for example, you're going to attract things that are of the same vibration as fear, which is fundamentally negative things back. It's low vibrational things back. So I've gone off on a bit of a tangent there, but I think it's important to refer to that diagram because that's how the law of attraction works. It's literally whatever you're vibrating at on that list of qualities or vibrations, you're going to attract things that are on that level. And it might not be a direct thing. It might not be you're fearful of this, therefore you're going to experience this. Irrespective of that, you're still not going to be attracting those higher things that you're looking for because you're still down here. So understanding that diagram then of the different vibrational states, that's how you're going to attract things into your life that you want. You are going to use the law of attraction and the law of vibration, even using that chart, to attract what you want into your reality. Like I said, you essentially attract what you are. This is a really helpful way of looking at it because you can essentially become what you want to attract into your life. And this is where like the exciting sort of practical part comes in. The first part of becoming that person that attracts the things that you want is starting with your thoughts. I know that's what everybody says, but there is some kind of practical element to this. The way you think and the way you talk to yourself is so important. It is virtually impossible to achieve what you want and to create the reality that you're looking for if you do not change the way that you think and perceive this world and perceive yourself. By the way, this takes time. It takes the inner work. You have to begin talking to yourself with self-compassion and bigging yourself up. And I know, as a British person, I know how difficult this can be for people who are from the UK especially, because there is such a stigma around bigging each other up, or bigging ourselves up, or talking about our achievements, or speaking about ourselves positively, because we have this culture of modesty and the idea that, you know, if you're not modest, then you're up yourself, which is ridiculous. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure this is why Americans are so successful, because they have the way they speak to themselves in their head and the way they've been taught through their culture to speak to themselves and to like big themselves up, and sort of like this idea of self-promotion has helped them get to where they want to be, and has also encouraged a culture of like bigging each other up and like supporting each other. There's just not that same thing in the UK. I know that other people are going to agree with me with that one, but we need to take a leaf from their book and speak to ourselves with self-compassion, pep talks, and big ourselves up in our head. Every so often, I would try and do it even like once a week or something. Write down all the great things about you. Write down all the things you're grateful for. Write down all the things that you're so good at, or write down all the things that you love about yourself. And that is going to, hopefully over time, encourage you to think in a way that heightens your vibration, which is then going to attract things that you want to attract into your life at a faster rate. No doubt about it. Like I said, this takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. You have to train your brain, reprogram your mind to talk to yourself in a way that is going to serve you and is going to break down those barriers and limiting beliefs that you have about you achieving your goals. How you shut down those sort of negative self-talk and sort of like intrusive thoughts. The quicker you're able to do that, and the easier you find it to do that over time, I would say that you are literally 80% there on your journey to gaining the life and reality that you're looking for. If you always thought to yourself that you were smashing it, always thought you were doing well, always like spoke to yourself with positive words, there would be nothing holding you back. Even other people's words and what other people think, if other people shit on you or whatever, you're not going to care, because you're like, well, excuse me, I know who I am and I know that I can do this and this. You're just going to be less susceptible to internalizing other people's thoughts and opinions on you. It's almost like you kind of develop this like invincibility, and really fundamentally your thoughts are what hold you back. Your limiting beliefs are what hold you back in gaining the success that you deserve / want. The next step is the practical element. So there's two parts to this, and the first part is journaling and scripting. So I've kind of touched on it earlier about writing down all the things that you're good at. That is such an incredibly powerful exercise. It's so important that you consistently remind yourself and put out into the universe through physical words, through writing it down or making a voice note of your qualities, of how good you are already and what you're grateful for. So say if there's something that you cannot right now see in your reality and that you want, you need to script what you want to see out. You need to tell the universe exactly what you want to see in your reality. Writing, I would say, is better than voice noting, but you could do either, or speaking to yourself in the mirror even. But writing gives your brain that time and is like a slower and more thought out and rich experience than just voice noting. You've got to ask questions like, what would the person who lives in that dream reality of mine do for a job? What would their routine look like? How would they dress? What would they eat? What would their lifestyle look like? What kind of people would they have in their life? What kind of things would they tolerate or not tolerate? What would their house look like? What would their self-awareness or self-perception look like? And when you kind of begin to answer those questions and start writing these things down, it's almost like a little blueprint for yourself. Right now, say if you know that you need to like work on your self-esteem, you write down all the things that someone with high self-esteem would have, and then you know exactly what to work towards. It's like you have a goal in sight. It would come over time. You'd have to incorporate these kind of like habits into your life to build up your self-esteem. but at least there's some sort of like direction of where you need to go from here. Think about what you really want. So for example, say if you really want to live abroad and you want to work freelance, you want to, meet the love of your life abroad and go traveling with them. So what you would do is you would describe either, a ideal day in that life, or you would just describe that life, but say it in the present tense. Say it as if it's happening right now. Say it as if this is literally your reality right now. And that's telling the universe that you are experiencing that right now, and it needs to, level up to match what you're putting out there. I would say the more detail, the better. The more detail you can go into about your day or about what this life looks like, the better. Because you're like letting yourself imagine it. Your brain is like giving off this aura that it's happening and that you can imagine it so vividly that there's no reason why you can't grasp it. During those 15-20 minutes that you're writing it, you are putting out the energy of joy, gratitude, love for that life. And doing that practice on a regular basis is literally like going to get you to where you want to be so fast, because that kind of in tandem with you practicing having that self-compassion, good self-talk in your head is like literally the ultimate power. Like pretty much at that point, there's only a few actions that you probably need to take to get to where you want to be. And from there then, those actions that you then need to take to get to that place will seem much less daunting, because you've made it such a reality in your mind that there's almost no other option other than to take action to get to where you want to be. Your brain has got so used to envisioning that life and striving for that life and wanting that life that you cannot possibly be inactive. You have to take action. And following on from that then is that sort of idea of because it's become such a reality in your brain, it's almost become uncomfortable for you to remain in the reality in which you are currently in. And this idea of being so uncomfortable in your current reality to the point where you cannot fathom not taking action to sort of change your reality and sort of strive for that reality that you're actually looking for is the idea of putting yourself in situations that align with the person who lives in your dream reality. For me, I want to live a soft life. I want to have both my businesses be successful, my social media platform grow, and basically be able to live a luxurious lifestyle and live a lifestyle that enables me to have the freedom to travel whenever I want, to work whenever I want, to enjoy my life in the most maximum way possible. My current reality does not reflect luxury right now. Just a disclaimer though, I'm extremely happy where I'm at. I'm not unhappy. I'm very content, happy, but I know that I haven't reached my full potential in terms of getting to where I want to be yet. What I have been doing, and what I think if you want that kind of lifestyle, or if you want basically any kind of other lifestyle, is you have to behave, obviously within reason, but you have to behave in a way that the you version in that reality that you're looking for would behave. For example, I once a week will go and have a drink or take myself out for dinner or take myself out for brunch or something like that in a nice restaurant, because the Hattie who has a luxurious lifestyle and lives a sort of luxurious life would be seen in those places, would be engaging in that kind of behaviour of going out to dinner and eating good food and drinking exciting cocktails. I don't worry too much about spending money on things like networking events, because I know that the Hattie that I want to become would be going to these networking events and wanting to expand my business prospects. I know that the Hattie that lives a luxurious lifestyle likes to travel, so I prioritise travel in my life to kind of put myself more and more in a position and align myself more and more with that Hattie that lives that lifestyle and has that freedom. I've quit my corporate job because the Hattie that I want to become doesn't have a corporate job. They aren't restricted by anybody. The sort of ideal version of Hattie earns a lot of money by working on their passion. It's almost like you've got to let this new life, this new reality that you want to be your full-time reality, dominate over and start creeping in to your current reality. Like, so for me, for example, I've got to encourage and allow those luxurious things that I want in my future lifestyle to creep in to my current reality. By, you know, time, those things will become more solid and more consistent, and will begin to become my full-time reality. And that kind of goes back then to this idea of like, you attract what you are. The more you do certain things and behave in certain ways that align with the reality that you're looking for, and do certain activities that align with that sort of lifestyle that you want, or that reality that you want to see in real life, the more the universe is going to continue to give you more of those things and provide you with the tools and resources to do those activities and to live that kind of lifestyle. But I know literally by doing those actions and putting the work into all my endeavors, I'm telling the universe and I'm heightening my vibration to a higher level, which is then going to attract things that are of the same vibration. So when you're working hard on your business, and when you're, you know, putting out value into the world, and you put your passion and love into a project or your work, because that love quality is of such a high vibration, and probably, you know, if you're enjoying it as well, joy is up there as well, you're then going to attract anything that aligns with love, anything that aligns with joy. Because if you're loving and enjoying what you're doing on a daily basis, or like, you know, the tasks that you're doing and the activities that you're doing in relation to like your dream reality, you're going to attract things on that vibration. And it's just like a perpetually positive cycle. You know, the more you love your work, the more the universe is going to reward you with things that are of that same caliber. So money, for example, and lots of it. Or it might be you are given an opportunity which has been born out of your love for your business, and then has made your business even bigger, or has provided you with a new opportunity to do more of what you love on a more full-time basis. So using the sort of like idea and paradigm of you attract what you are is so helpful, because you at any point can choose to behave in a way that aligns with the person that is living in your dream reality. It's going to attract, like a magnet, good things happening to you. That's how you're going to change your reality. Prioritizing your self-care and a routine that serves you and sets you up well for the day is a really big part of creating the reality in which you want. If you read the book by James Clear called Atomic Habits, this really goes into detail about how small things you do create the reality that you're looking for. The more you prioritize your self-care and your self-love, the higher vibration you're putting yourself at. The more you choose to love yourself and choose to make the decisions that are on a self-love basis, the higher your vibration is going to be. When you like yourself that much, and when you cherish yourself that much, you're again putting yourself on that high vibrational level of, you know, embodying love and embodying love for yourself. So you're going to attract good things into your life. The more you take care of yourself, the more you prioritize your own mental health, your own self-love, the easier you're going to find it to create the reality that you want, because again, you're attracting those high vibrational things. When you have that sort of self-love strength, you're like rejecting subconsciously all those things that don't align with that self-love that you have. And I think that really does play into this idea of like attracting what you are, because the more self-love you have, the less likely you are to keep around anything that doesn't align with that high vibration of love. And if you continue on that path of high vibration, you're going to continue to strive and discover and become what you want and create the reality that you want. I really do think it's literally as simple as that. So if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Sound out in the comments what you think of the law of attraction, how you've incorporated it into your life, how you feel like it served you, what's your understanding of the law of attraction. I just want this to be like a space where people talk about like this kind of thing. I find it really, really interesting, and I just love hearing other people's perspectives on it, because I feel like it just like enriches our understanding of it, and like, yeah, helps us create the reality that we're all seeking. So yes, with that, I hope you have a lovely rest of your week or day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.